Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name is Invin. Today I am going to be bringing you guys my top 5 loadouts for Season 3 of Warzone. Obviously this video is going out at this very start of Season 3 and this is going to be the top 5 loadouts for the game as it stands in its current state. Now obviously the AMAX is still quite good at the moment, but I'm going to give you a few different options of guns you can use instead of the AMAX, so it's not all the same thing consistently throughout every loadout video you guys watch. And also these guns are going to be set up in a specific order, but you can mix and match the first and second weapons. So we're going to have generally an AR as the first weapon or a sniper, and then the secondary weapon will be whatever's acting as the close range or the SMG option. But obviously you can mix and match these as you guys please. Again, with the attachments, I'm going to go through these generally and show you guys what I use, but again, just feel free to modify the attachments to whatever suits you the best. You know how good your recoil control is and things like that, so if you do need that little extra help in hand with the recoil, swap out one of the attachments for a recoil control one and vice versa, and you guys will see what I mean as we go through it. So starting off here, we have the CR AMAX. We're going to start off with this class. This is going to be the standard build for it in Warzone. So you're going to want to use the monolithic suppressor, the XRK Zodiac barrel, the VLK 3x optic, commando foregrip, and 45 round mag. This is generally the setup that people are going to be using in Warzone at the moment. This class setup absolutely lasers people. Very, very good TTK on it, which is very nice. In the future, we are expecting to see a nerf on this weapon, but more than likely, it's not going to be a huge nerf. It's very likely that the nerf is going to be slightly to the damage, so maybe it takes an extra bullet or two to get that kill, but it's very unlikely that they're going to nerf the recoil or anything like this, so this is probably the setup that we're going to see throughout consistently. It may just be that it does slightly less damage, but I'll keep you guys updated with that as and when that happens, if it does actually happen. But right now, this is generally one of the best guns in the game. This is the setup you're going to want to rock it with, and then we're running the AK-47 from Cold War as the close range gun, because obviously with the latest patch, this has had a huge buff, which is really nice, and it makes this gun very good. What we've got here is the Spetsnaz RPK barrel, the KGB skeletal stock, the Spetsnaz speed grip, the 45 round mag, and the serpent wrap. Now this is a really good setup. Very fast TTK, which is exactly what you want for that close range gun. The recoil has been nerfed to a substantial amount, whereby you can actually control this pretty well, especially if you're using it up close, which is really nice. Now if you are particularly good at controlling recoil and guns and you don't really need the extra help, you can remove the serpent wrap on here and instead put yourself on the Tiger Team flashlight, which is this one, Tiger Team Spotlight, sorry, and this gives you more movement speed and aim walking movement speed, so you are going to be able to dodge between those bullets a little bit better. So that's a really nice addition if you do want to go ahead and put that on, if you are good with the recoil. But if not, stick with the serpent wrap, as obviously that gives you the ADS time as well, which is really nice. The class that I'm using with all of these guns is going to be the Amped perk, the Overkill perk, and the EOD. Obviously it's the standard setup for Warzone by now, but just so you guys are aware of what we're using. Then I'm throwing on either the Thermite or the Semtex with the heartbeat sensor, and that is pretty much all of the classes that are on here. So it's up to you, again, personal preference what you want to use, but generally that's the setup I go with and find to be the most useful. We're then going to look at another AMAX class just to get it out of the way on the front end of this video, so then I can show you guys the different variants as we go through. So it's the exact same AMAX setup. We've got the monolithic suppressor, Zodiac barrel, VLK 3x, 45 round mags, and commando foregrip. Lovely. We know where we are with that. And then we're actually pairing this with the Bullfrog. The Bullfrog has had one of the biggest buffs we've seen in Warzone for a ton of time, meaning that this gun is actually one of the best and most competitive weapons. If you manage to get a headshot or 2 headshots even, this is the fastest TTK in the game at the moment. Now, if you don't get a headshot, it's still highly competitive, but if you do manage to get those headshots, you're bringing that TTK down by such a significant amount that it is super good, and that is what makes this thing an absolute laser beam. So, you're going to want to run the GRU suppressor, the Task Force barrel, KGB skeletal stock, 65 round mag, and the serpent wrap. Pretty much you can't go wrong with this. You've got tons of ammo, very low recoil on it, suppressed obviously to keep you off the minimap, and the TTK, like I said, is very minimal, especially if you're hitting 1 to 2 headshots. If you're hitting 2 or more headshots per kill, you're going to be dropping these people in 4-5 bullets, and with the amount of ammo you've got, that's easily a 1v4 every single time. So this gun is absolutely insane for close range combat. So that's a really good class. Again, with that one I'm running the C4 and the stun grenade, but again it's up to you and exactly the same perks. We're then moving on to the Krig 6 and LC10. Now, like I said at the start, you can move between these weapons. So, for example, if you want to run the AMAX with the LC10 or the Krig 6 with maybe the FFAR or anything like that, you can do that. And I'm just going to go through all the setups, but mix and match them as you please and as your playstyle works as well. But for this one, I'm using the Krig 6. On the Krig 6, you've got the Agency Suppressor, the Ranger Barrel. Now, the Ranger Barrel is really good on this one because it's extra bullet velocity. Basically, on all Cold War more guns, you're going to want to increase that bullet velocity to bring that TTK down. So if you are going to build up with any other guns, obviously you'll see content creators and streamers using different weapons. You just want to mainly focus when you're building a Cold War weapon on getting that bullet velocity up, and that will really increase the damage output that it has. So just a little tip for anyone building, you know, slightly different classes or anything like that. Aerial Axle 3x scope, really, really good scope. You can obviously swap this out for something maybe like the Microflex LED if you want, or even maybe something like the Cross 4x if you want to. The Aerial Axle 3x works the best in terms of being the most versatile, so it's got lots of different situations it works really well in, and that's why I rock that one on this class. We've then got the Field Agent Grip and the Stanag 60 round mag. Again, the ADS time isn't hugely impacted because it's not a fast mag, but again, when this is a longer range weapon, you don't need it to be quite as snappy as those closer range guns. So really, really good setup. This thing does take a little bit of time to get used to because of a lot of players haven't used this before. If you've played League play, even from last season, it's changed because of the way the damage now works, but it's still a fantastic, good weapon. Really, really overpowered at the moment. Well, not overpowered, but very competitive, I would say. So definitely give it a go. Let me know what you think in the comments if you have tried this one out, because this one is an absolute shocker. You think it's going to be not that great, you use it, and it's a laser beam. So fantastic from the Krig 6. I've then paired this with the LC10. The LC10, you're going to want to rock the Agency Suppressor, Task Force Barrel, Raider Stock, Field Agent Grip, and the Stanag 55 round mags. Again, not the fast mags because that does reduce the ADS time further, so we don't want to do that, especially with a close range class. The LC10 is a super, super good weapon this season. The damage buff it's received and the overall buffs that it's got this season makes it very, very, very good. And the TTK is super low. You'll be able to laser people, and it's actually got decent capability, almost up to medium range. I wouldn't quite say, I'd say maybe up to 10, 15, probably push on for 20 meters, but then it'll start to drop off. But then obviously if you paired it with something like the Krig 6, that's then going to excel at those higher meter kills. So really, this is a brilliant weapon and one of the higher ranged SMG kills that you're going to be able to get with the SMG setups that we've got here. So it's a very, very nice weapon, and definitely recommend trying that one out. Again, Semtex heartbeat sensor, you know the drill by now. Now we've also got a sniper class here. So this is with the Kar 98, as I really like this sniper at the moment. You can use the HDR or maybe even the SPR if you want to, but the Kar 98 is really, really good. Very, very fast, good damage on it. Pair this with the FFAR, because the FFAR is actually still really, really good this season. Despite what a lot of people have said, that it not being quite as good, it's not as good as it was, but it's still very, very viable and a very good weapon to rock with this season. So what we have on the Kar 98 is the Monolithic Suppressor, the Singard Custom 27.6 inch barrel, TAC laser, sniper scope, FTAC combat stock. Now it's just the top row, same setup we've always been using for the Kar 98, still very reliable, good weapon. If you want to whack on the variable zoom scope, you can do with this one, but I just prefer the standard sniper scope. Entirely up to you guys, so what you want to use with that, again, personal preference. Then on the FFAR, pretty standard build to what we used to have. We've got the Agency Suppressor, Reinforced Heavy Barrel, Field Agent Grip, 38 round speed mag, and the SASR Jungle Grip. Now, you can again put the 50 round mag on if you prefer. I just like the ADS speed, so I've gone for the 38 round speed, but it's entirely up to you guys. Again, personal preference with it, but the standard FFAR build, the standard Kar 98 build is really, really good for this season. And again, you're going to be able to, different situations are going to want to get different sort of setups and things, so you might want maybe a class with just one gun on, so you've got a ghost class as well in backup, but it might not necessarily be one of the classes that's included here, but you could just use one of the guns from each of the setups. So for example, the LC10 by itself with a ghost class, if you're dropping into those later rounds, you know, maybe zone 4, zone 5, you've won the gulag, zone 5, you can see a loadout, you're dropping in, you just want to get ghost, make sure you've got one class with at least just one of those on and a ghost perk, or maybe even the restock perk, something like that, so that you know you're going to be on top of that when you do end up spawning back in those loaded positions, because undoubtedly that will happen to us all at some point this season. So it's worth having one of those classes too. And then finally here we have got the AK-47 again, but this time it's actually going to be a long range variant. Now this is because the buff to the recoil has basically made it viable for both situations. Now some people may prefer this. It is a little bit harder to control than some of the other weapons, so if your aim control isn't quite as good, your recoil control is a little bit worse than maybe some other players that you've seen, or you're just better with closer range guns, probably not the one for you. The AMAX is slightly better for now. Even you know, the FARA as a long range build is quite good. Kar 98 obviously really good, so there is some different options there, but this one, if you can control the recoil, the TTK is stupid good on this, and this is going to be a really good class to set you off. So you're going to want to rock the Groove Suppressor, 20 inch Liberator barrel, Axle Aerial 3x scope, Spetsnaz grip, and a 45 round mag. Now again, with this one you could go as a 60 round mag like I said before, because it's not quite as important to snap onto those targets with a close range, because this is a long range gun this time. You could increase the mag size, but I just quite like having it as 45. Again, personal preference, choose what you want to have, but that's what I'm going with on this one. I'm then pairing this with the FARA. If you guys haven't tried out the FARA yet this season, try it out, level it up, it's nutty. So this is the setup for the FARA as a close range weapon. Again, I haven't included every single loadout I've got at the moment in this video, but if you guys would like to see a long range FARA build, for example, or a long range other build, etc. in the future, then stay subscribed to the channel, because obviously I'm going to be upgrading these loadouts, tweaking them and making them better as we go along the season, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on that. But the FARA build you're going to want here is the GRU suppressor, the Spetsnaz RPK barrel. Now you can change this down to the ultralight if you're finding the recoil from this one a little bit tough, because as you can see on screen there, vertical recoil control and horizontal recoil control are less with this barrel, so you can swap this out to the ultralight if you want to. But the Spetsnaz RPK barrel is really good because it's got the strafe speed, bullet velocity, and damage range, which is really, really nice on this gun. Just gives it that little bit extra range when you are fighting, because obviously it's an AR, but we're using this as an SMG style setup, so it gives it a really nice TTK while still being able to maintain some distance on it, which is actually really, really good. Skeletal stock on the back there, 50 round mag underneath, again not the fast mags, just the regular mags for the ADS speed, and the serpent wrap for that ADS speed as well there. So basically, if you have got the variant from last season, you obviously get the stock and the rounds mag straight off the bat. You do need to be at max level though, or pretty much max level, to get the GRU suppressor. I think it's like 51 or 52 for the GRU suppressor, but that is really, really good and vital part of the build, so try and get this gun ranked up. Now obviously these builds, as I said, you can mix and match them however you want to. These are just the overall builds I've got, but then I have got things like the Bullfrog here with Carly sticks just for with Ghost. If you've got the Psychoff pistol, I probably recommend putting that on as a secondary. I haven't actually got around to getting it yet, and I need to get on that because it's nutty, but that is what I would recommend, having some of those classes, and then just have your extra classes as you want. You know, the LC10 could go with the AMAX, the AK could go there with the AMAX as well, or we could have maybe the CAR and the LC10, or the FFAR and the AMAX. You can mix and match pretty much all of the guns here, so it's actually really, really nice, but just pick whichever one matches your playstyle the best. Now hopefully this video has helped you guys out and gives you some direction as to where you should be heading with your loadouts for the start of Season 3. I have also got a very, very cool PPSH class. It's not quite as competitive as some of the other weapons, so I haven't included it in these best loadouts here. But if you guys would like to see that in the future, then let me know down in the comments, because that's something I can definitely drop for you guys as well, so you can see a good PPSH class to use too. And if you have enjoyed today's video, make sure you drop a like. Go down below and check if you're subscribed to the channel. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, make sure you do drop a subscribe by pressing the red subscribe button down below, as it really does help me out, and it'll help you find your way back here, so that every time I upload some new content, you guys can get ahead of the game and see it first hand. Make sure you get the notification bells on so that it notifies you every time I do upload. We're covering tons and tons of Season 3 content, and we're going to be covering a ton more as the days go on as well. If you do want to see anything specific, check back on the channel. We've done tons of things like how to max out your battle pass quickly, how to get the best weapon XP using Warzone only, all that kind of good stuff. So check back, see if there's anything that you'd like to look at there. And obviously, as I say, make sure the notification bells are on for my channel, as I'll be uploading tons more Season 3 content and tips over the coming days. Thank you guys for watching, take care, and peace.